Hi, I'm Alan Finney, and this is what ayahuasca told me to tell you. Why would anyone want to take ayahuasca? And the answer to that is because ayahuasca can substantially change your life. I tell people that haven't taken ayahuasca or that are wanting to take ayahuasca, it's kind of like you've been living in a shoebox and maybe you're not very happy with the shoebox. It's kind of cramped. It's not exactly the most happiest experience living in a shoebox, right? So then somebody comes along and says, you want me to just take the lid off that shoebox and so you can look around? You go, wow, am I living in a shoebox? Yeah. You want me to take the lid off? And you go, yeah, okay, take the lid off. So they take the lid off and you look around and you're going like, woo, man, there's some serious stuff out here. Say, yeah. So then they put the lid back on. But the question is, are you ever going to keep the lid back on your shoebox? And that's, to me, kind of sums up what taking ayahuasca is like. So in my own personal experience, I'd kept the self-help industry alive for the last 59 years before I tried ayahuasca. And I tried everything: meditation, self-help courses, counseling, Reiki, and studied some Buddhism, and all of it helps without a doubt. But there's some great therapies out there, but nothing brought about the substantial life-altering changes that I was really looking for better than ayahuasca, and nothing. It was a game changer. And time again, I've seen people do the same things, change their lives in a substantial, positive way. So, if you're stuck, or if you're thinking that there has to be more to life than what you've seen so far, you're absolutely right, there is. There is a whole lot more, as it turns out. Quite a bit more than you thought. And it's beautiful. And ayahuasca can help you to change your life in a very substantial way. And when I say it can help you, I mean it can help you. You still actually have to do the work. People can accomplish a lot with ayahuasca, but it still boils down to this. You're the one that has to do the work and work through whatever it is you have to work through. But the truly beautiful thing with ayahuasca is that once you work through whatever you're working through, you're done with it. Or at least whatever part you're working on, you're done with that part. You can't do everything at once, and that's one of the big things. Ayahuasca is a process. It's a pretty fast process, and it brings about some very substantial changes, but it's still a process. And I'm not going to say it's going to work miracles, and it doesn't, but it might be the next best thing to a miracle work in your life. And really, when it comes right down to it, sometimes you may just need some help working through things that you need to work through. So if you're feeling you need some help and you're being drawn to ayahuasca, this may be the medicine for you. I don't know. You're the only one who can figure that part of it out. So one thing you have to understand is that ayahuasca is strong medicine. And it's used in all kinds of extreme situations. There's drug addiction, alcoholism, PTSD, dissociative disorders. Very severe situation. But here's the thing. You don't have to be a heroin addict or an alcoholic or a soldier with PTSD or anything extreme like that to want to change your life. Ayahuasca is not just for the hard cases. If you're here and alive on this earth, chances are you are a hard case. And, you can just trust me on that. This is not an easy place to do some things. So it's a tough environment. But let me just give you an example of how powerful ayahuasca is. Dr. Gabor Mate was treating Vancouver Skid Row drug addicts with ayahuasca. And a lot of these people would give up their drugs of choice after one session. So, that's how powerful a medicine you're dealing with. That's how powerful ayahuasca is. Let me give you another example. A friend of mine was tricked into going to an ayahuasca ceremony by his brother, which sounds crazy, but you have to hear the story. But he doesn't want to come forward on camera. But he was tricked into an ayahuasca ceremony. After one ceremony, this guy, who was a daily alcohol and drug user, gave up alcohol and drugs. I mean, a doctor had told him that his liver was 90% shot. Didn't do it. And it wasn't like he was even going into that ceremony looking to do that, like get rid of alcohol and drugs. He was tricked into the ceremony. It was just a side effect of that ceremony. Ayahuasca showed him, in that ceremony, ayahuasca showed him what the drugs and alcohol were doing to his body, and he just quit. Never drank since that ceremony. And I've seen this time and time again with chronic pot smokers, for example. They don't come into a ceremony even thinking about giving up pot because they like pot, but sometimes they just give it up after one ceremony and it's done. And the only reason I'm bringing all this up is to give you some idea, and I don't know what you're looking to do or why you're looking for change in your life, but I'm just bringing this up to give you some idea of how much of a transformative agent ayahuasca is. So maybe you're not an alcoholic or drug addict or what you consider this extreme end of things, but ayahuasca can absolutely help you to change your life, no doubt about it. If, and here's the if, you do the work. So what's the work you have to do? Well, you absolutely have to be willing to change your life. And really, that's it. Which sounds kind of crazy, but here's the thing. You're going to find out if you really want to change your life or if you just think you want to change your life. It's kind of like wishful thinking versus actually doing something. And it's the same thing with actually going to an ayahuasca ceremony. I'll be talking about an ayahuasca ceremony to somebody and they're like, yeah, I'd really like to do ayahuasca. So I'll tell them, well, we're doing a ceremony on Friday. And then it's something like, well, I have to mow the lawn or walk my dog on Friday. So it's no different than going into an ayahuasca ceremony. You can go into an ayahuasca ceremony and just tour around and play games and see the sights. And ayahuasca is only too happy to show you the sights, but what gets results, what really allows you to make progress, is your willingness to face up to whatever it is that needs to be faced up to in your life. And this is where some people are going to bail. Even if they go to a ceremony, they're just not ready to give up whatever it is that they think they want to give up or what they need to give up. Dr. Mate, for example. I mean, not every drug addict that went into an ayahuasca ceremony gave up their drug of choice. It wasn't 100% effective. But who it was effective with and what ayahuasca is effective with is people that sincerely want to bring that change into their life, and they're going, yes, I want this change. So while we're on the topic, let's talk about getting to that first ceremony. And that in itself can bring up a lot of fear. But really, that's a big part of this work, working through the fear. So if you get to that first ceremony, you've already worked through some substantial fear. Just getting to that ceremony, bravo, well done. And for other people, it just might not be a problem getting to that ceremony. Away you go. I'm not sure how you're going to react to things, but just understand that even if you think you can't go through with it, that you're not strong enough or you're not ready to face up to whatever it is, don't worry about it, because in an ayahuasca ceremony, you're in good hands. The doctor is in. Ayahuasca is going to take absolutely good care of you, and she will treat you with the most care and dignity and gentle helping hands that you can get. Or she's going to give you a big dose of tough love, which is what I kind of found out, but it's all good. You will be in the presence of an amazing intelligence that will, and the first thing she's going to do is diagnose you and then figure out a game plan for you. And then with your permission and cooperation, you know, she'll start the treatment. There's nothing that's done without your permission and without your cooperation. It's essential to the whole process. I know this personally, and from seeing it time and time again, you always have the ability to refuse the treatment if you so choose. And the thing with ayahuasca is that once you see the intelligence that you're dealing with, the question is, why would you refuse this help that is being offered to you? I mean, it just makes absolutely so much sense in an ayahuasca ceremony that you would, and you know, I mean, that's what I was there for. I wanted to change my life. So when ayahuasca asked, do you want to change this? Do you want to change that? You see what this is? You see what that is? Absolutely. It was, yes, let's change this. And away she went. And that's all you need to bring to the table, is that willingness to change, that giving ayahuasca permission to do the work that she wants to do. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Let's say you're a drug addict and you're at the absolute bottom of your rope, and ayahuasca comes along and says, you want to get rid of that? And there's two things that can happen. You can say, yep, absolutely. Or you really, in your heart of hearts, aren't ready to give up your addiction at that point. If you say yes, and you're sincere about it, if it's truly what you're looking to do, then ayahuasca will clear up the energy associated with that addiction. That's how powerful it is. And that's how quick it can be. Like, this can happen in one ceremony, in that first single ceremony, and boom, that energy is gone, and you no longer have to deal with that. And that's really how ayahuasca works on an energetic level. And I'll get more into that in another video. But the point being, it's a cooperative effort. Nothing is done without your cooperation. And in fact, you know, the process needs your cooperation and permission to work ahead. So when I say you're absolutely in good hands, you're in the best of hands. It's that simple. And just to reiterate, you don't have to be a heroin addict or, you know, to want to change your life. You just have to want to make some changes, whatever or however that may be for you. So let's just get into what I think might happen to you in your first ceremony. And here's the thing about ayahuasca and why I say what I think could happen in your first ceremony. You really have to understand what you're dealing with. Imagine going to see the smartest, wisest, kindest doctor you can imagine. And you're going into that first appointment with the doc. So the doctor is going to run some tests and listen to your story and give you an introduction and you know, maybe some diagnostics and really just get to know you. So, you know, in that first ceremony, maybe the doctor is going to treat you with kid gloves and you're going to have a merry old time and, you know, laughing and giggling and touring around and seeing the sights. I don't know. Or maybe, you know, you're going to get right down to work. She figures you're ready for it. Get right down to work and, you know, get some tougher love right off the bat. I don't know. And that's the beauty of the medicine. It's between you and the doctor. And everybody is different. So nobody can tell you what the first ceremony is going to be like. You just have to suck it up and see what happens. And whatever that ceremony is like, it's going to be amazing. Let me tell you, it will change your worldview substantially. If you can imagine, it's kind of like taking a medicine that comes with its own intelligence built right in. That's ayahuasca in a nutshell. And it just adapts to what you need. And that's what it does. I don't know if that sounds crazy or not, but that's exactly what happens. It's one of the most amazing, beautiful, terrifying, awesome experiences you can ever have on this earthly plane, bar none. At least that I'm aware of, or that I've found. And I was looking, trust me, I was looking my whole life for something like this. And here's the other thing about ayahuasca. You can absolutely do this, because here's what's going to happen in an ayahuasca ceremony. You're going to take some ayahuasca, and then some shit's going to happen. And when it's done, you will feel amazing. And maybe you won't feel amazing right away, but you're going to feel amazing at some point. And your life will be better. Guaranteed. I mean, I've seen this time and time again. People will say, we had one guy, and it was like, oh my God, that 35 years before I took ayahuasca, what a waste. And I've seen this time and time again, and I measure my own life exactly like this. Pre-ayahuasca and after ayahuasca. It's a substantial change in your life. And really, and you did it. I mean, the ayahuasca helped without a doubt. I mean, but you've just taken, you were strong enough and courageous enough to take a leap into the abyss. You've trusted yourself and the medicine enough to take that first cup of ayahuasca. And make no mistake, that's an act of courage, because you have no idea what's going to happen in an ayahuasca ceremony. Everyone is unique, everyone is different, and it's tailored to you. So if somebody says they know what's going to happen to you in an ayahuasca ceremony, they may be, I would only say that maybe some powerful shaman could tell you something like that. But if somebody's telling you, I know what's going to happen to you in a ceremony, there's some general things that happen, but nobody can predict what it's going to happen or what kind of a game plan ayahuasca has set up for you. So that's that. And here's the other thing. After your first ceremony, you're going to understand that there is a way out of whatever it is you're dealing with. And ayahuasca isn't going to find you a new job or help you win the lottery or, whatever it is in your day-to-day life. Or maybe she is. I don't know. But the big thing for me was you'll just know in your heart of hearts that there's a path forward. And that is a game changer right there. That is the reward for going into the ceremony. So in our next video, I'm going to give you some more tips about actually finding a ceremony and how to prepare for that ceremony, and maybe some more of kind of what to expect, because expect the unexpected. So take care, keep the faith, and just understand that help is on the way. I'm Alan Finney, and this is what ayahuasca told me to tell you.